What's going on, fam? Rhy here. And I just want to welcome you to episode number 3. Yes, episode number 3 of the Road to Results podcast. Now, a couple things to note before going into this podcast is 1, we don't have an intro. 2, we still haven't figured out the name. And 3, the audio isn't the best. But like Ray and I said from the very beginning, we want to keep it real. Yes, we want to keep it real with all of y'all who are rocking with us, all of you who are just joining us on this journey of the road to results. So again, as we're going through the podcast and you are seeing our growth, yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up, but more importantly, we got some fire content for you. So thank you for taking the time to rock with us. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And most importantly, thank you for your grace. Continue to focus on results. Let's grow. Yeah. Tell me about that, bro. How was that? You recorded a course?
Yeah, man, we did 7 sessions.
What was course it's not out yet, but just give us a little taste, a little teaser, bro. What's the 7 courses about?
So it's just one course, man. It's breaking formation. Is a thing that I've been kind of, that's been on my heart for like the past 3 years. Really came from being locked up with COVID and then going back to work and me really be like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with this. I kind of had an idea, when I got hurt before, me not being at work. But when it's time to go back, man, I was like, yeah, something's got to change. Like I got to figure something else out. So the concept of breaking formation, literally stepping away from it, but also changing the way that we think. It's like everything that we do, renewing the mind. But so that I can help service members build an intentional exit strategy before they get out, because the transition plan, or what they call the transition assistance program, is only 5 days. Like, bro, I'm doing 20 years and then I go to get out and it's 5 days and 2 of those days are optional because they call me a tier 1 because I'm a retiree. So you only need 3 days to figure out how to live the rest of your life. But that's a business move. I'm still a resource because I can be a DOD civilian, DAC, or a Department of the Army contractor or something like that. And so concept literally, so let me see, we run through it, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, because right now, let's see, break it down. Oh,
so session 1 is just literally like the intro. Session 2, it starts with me. Session 3 is about changing your mind. We kind of, we dive into all that, and the gentleman that I've been working with on it is actually my student pastor. So he's instructor, so he knows me, how I talk, same thing, bringing in scripture, bringing all those things. Like session 4 is about avoiding the traps. That one, he had a little, but I'm good with that. Session 5 was, fight, flight, or freeze, like going through those basic things like that you're going to, we get past the honeymoon phase. So it's literally like 6 was, getting in that sweat equity and then building it on a solid foundation. So we go into the little story of the 2 foundations, one built on sand, one built on rock. So I referred to that part of the scripture, but then I also referred to like the Millennial Towers over in San Fran. Yeah. Like here's a worldly example of like why you need to have like a deep foundation on the stuff that most people don't care about. Like you want to get out and all the business that we're just talking about, you want to make all this money and stuff, but if you don't have a solid foundation on why you're doing something, why you want to push forward, it's not going to stand. And then, let me see where session 7 at.
Yeah, I think that's a big takeaway, right? I think a lot of people focus on building up, but not really building down, right? Not building that foundation. And we hear it time and time again in our programs with E. It's this idea like, you might be sweet, you might have this gift, and you might be using it well to build up. But if you're not building down, if you're not building that foundation, like you said, whether it's a building, whether it's your faith, like whatever it might be, you fall apart. And I think that's really where a lot of that grit, a lot of that mindset, a lot of the strategy, a lot of the coaching comes into play, is because one thing that came to mind, because, for this episode, we were talking about, one of the reasons why we're getting coached and why we are also coaching ourselves, right? A lot of it is because the word blind spots comes up for me. And every time you provide a course, every time you provide a principle, every time we provide a life experience, a win or a victory, it actually helps the people on the other end figure out their own blind spots.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm assuming as you were putting the program together, I mean, it started with the blind spots. Now, were they blind spots for you, or were they blind spots that you just kind of noticed in the system?
There were kind of both. I mean, there were blind spots for me because I was talking in the beginning about, changing your mind, like the conformity. Like, what does formation mean? Like, it's like you are literally part of a moving unit. You're part of a group of people that move in unison. And your whole career is based off, one of the Army values is selfless service. It's like placing the welfare, the needs of the Army, the nation, and your unit above your own. Bro, like that is your whole career. And then all of a sudden it's like you want to get out and it's like, hey, 3 days. Bro, and like, we move from location to location, 3 years here, deployments. Like, you don't really ever plant roots anywhere you're at. So when it's time to leave the uniform, I mentioned, and there's like, you may be removed from the environment, but you're still conditioned for it. So if I'm still conditioned from the environment, the moment I'm removed from it, that's where the stress and the anxiety comes, because I don't feel like I'm a part of something anymore. Yeah. So now I go back. And that's what I'm saying. It's a business move. Like, it is literally a business move to not give you so much. So I was like, I want to find these people 5 years before they retire. I started 3 years, but, stumbling through, like, came across Jamal's course and started doing that. I was like, okay, I don't know what I want to do, but let me do real estate. And then when it came time, COVID hit, and then I literally had to go back to work after being, first my injury, they put me down for about 2 months. I didn't have to go to work. And then COVID kept me off for about 3. When it's time to go back, man, like, my spirit just changed. Yeah. Bro, like, I was cursing. I was just angry, like really for no reason. Like, just being there, like, just upset my spirit. And I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I got to figure something out. So the concept came up, but obviously I want to try to tell service members how to retire. Yeah. Rory said it at 120. You're trying to be the poster boy for something you haven't gone through yet. And I was like, I'm trying to tell you how to build a business and do all these things after, so you can be successful before you even retire. And I hadn't retired yet. So once I retired in October, like, I was like, this needs to happen. A couple more recent life events kind of put the accelerator on it. Like, let's put this through the floor, pedal to the metal, let's go. Just some, just like we do, some scheduled appointments every Thursday morning, meet with my student pastor. I'm helping him hit things. He's more structured like this. He's developed some, discipleship courses for the church. So just coming in and creating, like, just listening to me, taking notes, jotting down, and then came back with a long form. And he's like, okay, hey, just this is how I see it breaking down based off your messages that you keep saying. It's going to be 7 sessions. So in session 1, just give me a verbal dump, and then send me the voice memo. Session 2, just do me a verbal dump. And then got all those done. Then he sent those down, like what each session would look like. Yeah. And then, we just met up after I dropped my daughter off at school on Friday, man. We met at one of our campuses with him, one of our AV guys, and was like, let's go.
There you go. Yeah, and I love it. So now let me ask you this. When you think about the course, and of course you're going to have your own, your marketing strategy, you're going to put all that together. Is it one of those do it with you, right? Because we talk about do it with you, do it yourself, do it with you, and then do it for you. So would you consider this project currently as a DIY? Like, they'll just purchase the online course, watch the modules, or are you actually going to be interacting off top, like when you launch this course?
So there's probably going to be, and this is where we talk about, like, other gates and other opportunities. You'll give, shall make room for you. Are we recording? Your gift shall make room for you. And the idea was just the course. But recently this year, through sharing my messages in real estate, people reached out and started asking, do you coach? And, they said it. And I was like, absolutely, I coach. If not, we're going to figure this out. You come to me for a reason. When people know what you do, they know what to come to you for. So quickly it went from that one person to now I got 6 coaching clients. And we were talking about it this evening. I was like, with Mr. Flynn, every time they're like, I want you to coach me on real estate. I'm like, well, if that's all you want, like, I'm not your dude. Like, I want to know why you want it. Like, what is the reason why you're pushing and that you would even want to do it? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't even like real estate. So taking that to the course, now the course is being created. I've got, matter of fact, that first person that asked me about it, I've got him developing my website. So now I've got a coaching website. So if you want to do it yourself, I'm one of those. Make Real Estate Real. I took the course and I never reached out to Jamal or anybody on his team until Jamal actually reached out to me asking me if I would mind speaking at the conference. So I know there's a bunch of do it yourself. Like there's people that they're not going to want to interact. This may be the only piece. But in business, we talk about the longevity and the relationship of the customer. What is that customer's value over the duration of your relationship? So there's people that have to have more access. They take it and they're like, that's great, but I need you to hold my hand. And that's where it comes into. If you want that, now you can go and you can pay for some one-on-one coaching service because now we can get specific to the individual. But also now you have the subscription base where I can create a community, whether it's over Telegram, whether it's a private Facebook group or any of that stuff, where now you have a subscription-based model and I can do, you've got people in there that are doing content just like how we're all in this community of people. They can feed each other. I can do like a bi-monthly webinar. And that's kind of like the doing it with you. And then the coaching is the doing it for you. Because you're going to tell me, and now I'm going to give you guidance. I'm going to give you steps. I'm going to give you, this is what you, based off what you said, the results you want. This is what you need to do. So it'll be all three. It would be different tiers based off what the individuals need. Yep. So it's exactly what we're doing, like what we're going through. It's talk about it's the business model,
It's crazy because when I talk about for this episode, we're talking about coaching, why we got coached, why we're getting coached, why we decided to be coaches in the different spaces that we're in. So through Game Changers that I took last year, the ecosystem. Once I got into Game Changers, right, ET's old school speaking program, the original speaking program, it was like, bro, you started seeing all of the different ways, not just to monetize, but more importantly, how to create reach and how to create your impact. And so when I first was learning about the DIY to the do it with you, to the do it for you model, and those are just basically different tiers of different access. And I just started thinking about like, that's exactly where we're at right now in this moment, right? I mean, who talks to amazing CEO Anthony Flynn on a Monday and is getting coached for 6 months on how to 10x your business? Right, that's a level of access that we invested, and I think something that I want to drive home with all of our viewers and our listeners is that I've been that dude to just eat for free off ET Monday after Monday after Monday after Monday after Monday after Monday, and then S2S podcast, and don't get me wrong, there's so much good information there, but one thing that is different, which I'm learning, which what we're doing in our own industries, in our own spaces, is now we're taking all the different content and we're curating it. And that's what people want. It's not the information per se, because you can get the information anywhere, but it's how we curate it and it's who we are in that process that's going to add the value. So I think that's something that for all of those who are wanting to coach, I think we all have potential, but I think I really wanted to talk about today is why we're passionate to be able to curate the content that comes from our life and be able to share that with others. And let's talk about coaching. Right? We're not doing it for you. We're guiding, we're listening, we're giving steps, we're looking at blind spots, but that's a level of access that people have to invest in. And see, one of the reasons I love the fact that we're doing what we're doing is that, we could definitely charge the investment because we paid the investment. Right, like we can get to the point where we can be like, this is what it is, and we can't say we didn't do it. Right, I'll be honest. Like, this is the biggest investment that I've made in any type of coaching or mentorship program. But I'm also seeing that it's the biggest value. So for our listeners, we'll just say we got in cheap at 5 figures, And the
Oh.
first number, I mean, it is what it, I mean, at the time of this recording, March 27th, 2023, I mean, we got in at 35K. 35K.
Each.
For 1 year, 52 weeks. And we know that it's only going to give us 10x value, not just financially, but spiritually, but relationally. But I mean, and I think that's what I love about Anthony Flynn today. He was like, yo, like, what are you redeeming? What's the redemptive factor of why you're doing what you're doing? So again, man, I think that's something that I think is important for us to share with all of the folks, whether whether we cross paths and, we end up coaching you, or you just curious on why we coach and what drives us. Is definitely not it's not the bag. The bag is the lowest thing, actually. But it's that redemptive piece. It's the service piece. It's the, hey, we know what it's going to take to get to the next level, and we can't do it on our own piece. We need people who's got our best interests in mind, that's going to see the blind spots. And so the question that I had to ask myself, and I'm going to hit it back over to you, is like, how much is that worth to me? And that's when my mindset and the decision making in my life in these last 2 years have totally switched. It went from, man, I love TGIM still, I love the S2S podcast, but compared to the different types of access and the different trainings and coaching that we're getting now, it's something that where it's like, yo, we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna offer it to our industries, our communities, our people in our way, and just put a bow on it, bro. Wrap it up. Let's go.
Bro, you said a few things, and one of them was the relationships that come through. I think before I really started this journey, man, like I was really looking towards like kind of running solo, like being my own person. I didn't want to be in the environment of other people, just that mindset. But man, just through this process, I want to make sure people understand, like, don't just listen for the sake of getting hype and getting motivated. Like, listen for the drive. Like, listen for the purpose. Like the redemptive values that you're looking for yourself and for the people around you. Because you never know when you're going to be in the room with somebody, and you don't know who they are. And I say that, like, when you and I met, obviously we were there both attending at the conference, but the relationship that we've been able to sustain. And we ran into each other physically. We ran into each other one other time, but we've probably checked in several times just throughout that. And now, who knows what this is gonna bear? Like, what fruit's gonna come from this? And then even, Danielle reached out to me before this. Was like, I really wanted to, like, what does it look like? And I was like, hey, y'all just need to do it for y'all. Like that. There's no, I don't know what this is gonna do in the long run, but I know it's gonna be worth so much.
Yeah.
But having to be able to have someone in a community that you can bounce that off, that you can just be like, hey, I see, did you do it? Yeah, I did it. Do you think I should do it? Bro, we've met physically 2 times. Yeah. 2 times. Yeah. You should definitely make a 5-figure investment.
One thing I love about what you just said too was, like, this is what me and my cousin, we were talking about this the other day. We call it the here we go factor. All right, we call it the here we go factor. And what it is those people in your life who see you doing what you're doing, see you making moves, and they hit you with the first C, right? We call it the 2 C's. The first C is that compliment. Like, hey, you doing dope, or like maybe it's your health, your fitness, right? You balling. And then right after that, they give you the compliment, bro, they give you that critique. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but however, so my cousin was talking about how he's been, like, getting healthy, and he's been just, dropping some pounds, and just actually, he's been doing really well, almost like 40 pounds so far since the new year. And so one of his, like, colleagues, just calls colleagues, was like, hey, you looking good, da, 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 da. And he noticed what my cousin was eating, because he's doing an animal-based diet. And he was like, but right after all the compliments, he started critiquing everything he did. And this is big homie. Right. So it's like, so we talked about it, like, oh, here we go. Right. People want to give love. And then all of a sudden they're going to come back with, their concerns and their challenges and the critiques. And I'm just like, bruh, that's something that you and I don't have to worry about. When we get on the horn,
absolutely.
it's that's the benefit and the beauty of this type of relationship. The way it was formed was like, we know we both have our missions, we both have our assignments, we are both men of God, we are both fathers, we are both wanting the best for our communities genuinely, and most importantly, there's a compliment, there's no critique, right? I mean, if anything, we gonna call each other out as brothers keepers, but that's on a whole different. It's on a whole different level. And if anything, bro, like you can give me a critique anytime, and I actually will listen. Versus the homies, right? I call it a crab bucket mentality, man. They don't want to see nobody. They don't want to see nobody level up, right? Like you had Ray, you had Ray over there a couple weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, or last week, and that's another homie, right? Just like, no worry, no here we goes here.
Yeah, and it's like apply the information, like whatever you listen to, whatever you're consuming that is beneficial to you and your spirit. I'm talking the Bible. I'm talking any podcast, S2S. Apply that stuff. And I said that, you as an example where this is led. Bro, I was in Jamaica because I got asked to speak at the conference. I was going to go anyways. But because I got asked to speak at the conference, and what am I speaking? I'm just speaking my experience, my testimony through everything that I've applied. Bro, we did a catamaran sunset cruise, and I was talking to Anthony and his wife the whole time. I knew of him, but I did not know what we just got this evening.
For real, I seen him.
Life.
Hey, I seen him at the gym, Phenomenal Life, bro. And I was just like, everybody wears their brands, everybody wears their business. So, and he was cool. He said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" But it wasn't no like, now had I known who, the plethora of information and the impact that he had, not just on E, but everyone else. If I see him at the gym, I'm like, "Yo, Ann, what's up, bro? I got a question for you." I'll be that dude. Like, nah, I wouldn't be that bugaboo. But I'm saying, like you said,
bro, but it is because of that, because of the information that I have not just consumed, but that I've applied, and the experience I've had with that I was talking to him and his wife as for the education of real estate. The thing that I don't enjoy doing. But the diligent hand, bro. Go back to what we said last week. The diligent hand. So guess what I have? As soon as we were done, I shot that man a text. He's like, "Let me know. We'll hop on the calendar." Because I'm like, what can I do in service of you to glean from you?
Yep.
You just in Houston. You're in Houston. But because I have his number, because I was demonstrating my confidence, whatever it is that I'm actually, we're on a cruise or on a sunset cruise. Yeah. You ask a question, let me give it to you. Like, let me just, I don't know the status. I don't know the level of what you're doing. I know of you, but I don't know you. But let me just give that to you. Like we are here. We're having a good time. We are family. I genuinely want to give that to you.
Facts.
And then we get this spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and so I'm gonna just even go off something that Trap said. Wallstreet Trapper, shout out to Trap. He was giving his 3 principles on what changed his life and how he started looking at money differently, right? And it was like, number 1, don't trade your time for money. Number 2, let your money work for you. But the third one he said was give as much value to as many people as possible. And the reason he said that was because you're gonna build these relationships that are going to come through for you in some way, shape, or form at some time in your life. So keep giving value and keep adding it regardless, right, of what it is. And I remember when we were at his spot at the Mastermind in March, he was like, "Yo, it's cool that y'all want to see Big Bro ET, and that's what's up, because that's fam. But if you don't get people's information and contact and network with the other people in the room, then you just missed out." Right. And honestly, I didn't even know Trap before going there. And after I had his talk, and I posted up a pic, and everybody's like, "Yo, Trap, you met Trap." I'm jealous. I was like, "What? Like, who is this?" I had no clue. Again, another opportunity that a relationship that is forming, right? I like breaking formation to make new formation, right? So now it's like these new relationships that are happening. So, all this to say, for all of our folks that's rocking with us that are in a position or in a situation where you're not sure. I'm going to say one of my takeaways from Ray today was application, right? And I think that's something that Trap says too. He's like, information is out there, but the applied information is what matters. So coaching tip, I'm going to give a coaching tip, then I'm going to give it to Ray for the final coaching tip. But for me, the coaching tip is going to be this, is yes, apply the information. I think the feelings, right? We get all in our feelings. We get excited. We get inspired. I'm a product of that. And then we just let that fire die down. But one thing is apply the information, one, but get that accountability partner, group, or community. Because you might be able to do the one or two things on a solo, you might apply it, but are you applying it to are you applying the pressure that's needed to get stuff done? And so we're in a group right now. All right, March 27, 2023. Ray's getting up. What time you getting up every morning, bro? For the accountability
4:30.
4:30 in the morning.
4:30.
I'm getting up 5:30 in the morning because we have an hour difference. But we are on a call. We committed to being with a group, a dedicated group of folks, and we literally have to say, what is our goal? Did we hit, for the day? Do we know how to get there? And the last question was, what's number 3?
When are we doing it?
What by
and
when?
And what metric are you using to measure? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
What by when?
And what? Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So like the fact that we have this accountability, like I'm going to get off this recording and I'm going to write down what I'm doing for tomorrow because I want to make sure I'm ready. So I think apply the information, but get some extreme accountability if you really want to get to the next level. So Ray, final thoughts, bro. Coaching tip, whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, just something for the people, man, that, again, just something real, relevant. Double R Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's finish it. Let's wrap this bad boy up.
So you mentioned what Trap said as far as keep giving as much value as you possibly can. Like, just keep giving value. How do you give more than what you have? Like, take catalog of what you have and who you are. You can only give more if you become more.
Ooh.
Bro, that's
boy,
it. That's it.
My oh my. Say that one more time for the people. Say that one more time for the people.
You can only give more if you become more. So what are you becoming? And you wonder why we would pay that much to get coached. We're trying to become more so that we can give more. And it's reciprocal. It'll come back.
Hey, there is the good word. If you want to give more, you gotta become more. Gotta become more. And so the question we have for you, Double R Podcast, as we sign off, is what are you doing to becoming more? What information are you applying, and what type of accountability do you have? Which is why having a coach, having the right coach, let's just use that phrase, having the right coach, and that's a whole nother conversation, but having the right coach with your best interest in mind is what we highly and strongly recommend, and we would never ask you to do some or suggest something that we're not doing ourselves. So thank you for being on this journey with us, y'all. We are signing out. Double R Podcast. I'm Rhy. That's my boy Ray. And again, we out here just want to keep it real, keep it relevant, but most importantly, we focusing on results. All right, y'all. We out, fam.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Let's go.